with science and technology. When he was Higher Education Minister during the Fees Must Fall protests in 2015, Nzimande is on record as saying students must fall and dismissing the student movement, according to some. Wits SRC President Sisanda, Mbolekwa is SRC President at Wits, as I mentioned. She joins us now on the line. Sisanda, what is the general reaction from the student bodies?
I think students are generally disgruntled at this decision by President Ramaphosa, mainly because the rollout of free education that the students has not been completed. Therefore, you need to have a minister who's going to be at the center of this implementation, meaning that there's no logic behind bringing back Dr. Blade Nzimande when he has shown himself to be opposed to the realization of this cause.
The South African Union of Students says the positive aspect, though, is the fact that there is already a working relationship. Do you not agree with that?
I'm in disagreement with the fact that there's a working relationship with the current minister, the one that was appointed yesterday, because he has shown that through his contributions to turning campuses into crime scenes at a time where students are putting their bodies and lives on the line for a genuine cause, I don't think anything would have drastically changed within the space of 3 or 4 years. The previous minister, yes, Naledi Pandor, had an open door policy. We were able to meet her through the mediation of the South African Union of Students, but I have no hope, and students have no hope generally, that Dr. Blade Nzimande will respond in the same manner.
You know, it's interesting, Sisanda, that you say that you have a problem with the person appointed yesterday, speaking about Dr. Nzimande as if he's not the same person. Do you not think that there's a possibility that he could have had either a change of heart, a change of approach, or perhaps that 3 years could have given him time to reflect?
I think there's only one change that, or one way to show us that he is really committed to making this Ministry of Higher Education and making the sector work. And his first move would be making sure that all the charges faced by Fees Must Fall activists at the time are dropped. I think that would be a sign in the right direction and a sign of wanting to negotiate and work with student leaders in good faith. I think that should be his first task as Minister of Higher Education, and from then on we will assess whether or not he's make sure that the realization of free education happens.
But Sisanda, is that within his purview, though? Can you really think that the Minister of Higher Education would be in a position to have charges dropped against Fees Must Fall students who have been charged or incarcerated?
I mean, if you had the level of influence that he had back in 2015, 2016, when he made a call to the police to deal with protesters decisively, I think he can have the very same courage to make sure that the charges are dropped through his influence or through speaking to his colleagues or convincing them that this is the right thing to do for the sector, to show that he's committed to the plight of poor black students in the country.
Would you accept that and nothing else? What about asking for reduced sentences or less harsher charges against the students as an act of faith? I'm just trying to gauge how open-minded you are as a student body to start the working relationship afresh.
I think our first point of departure is that student leaders and student activists feel like this deployment in and of itself is a slap in the face. So for us to really, really make sure that this man has had a change of heart, that he's gone through some level of intellectual turnover, he must have just as drastic stance now as he did back in 2015, 16, when he said students must follow. If he was able to make such daring statements, he can make as a daring move in 2019.
I remember when he made that statement, I was then, he argued that that statement was made in jest, but obviously it was a joke that fell flat on its face. But just going forward, from a policy perspective, what would you ask him to put on the table to rebuild this relationship?
I think he needs to learn a lot from Dr. Pandor, who has left the sector now. I think he needs to get a few tips from her on how it is that you open yourself up as a minister and dedicate yourself to making sure that under your tenure and under your administration, black poor students actually thrive in the sector. And that would be through making sure that the realization of free education actually happens as was promised to students.
All right, thank you very much, Sisanda, for speaking to us. Sisanda, Mbolekwa is the SRC president. So now let's move on.